And as well, you mentioned it's the car as well. The car's a fascinating one because I think it was last year they actually ran a NASCAR at the 24-hour Le Mans. I think Jimmy
Yes.
Johnson was one of the guys who did that, and that shows how relevant this car is compared to regular sports cars.
Yeah, and it does because it has so much sports car technology. It has so much open wheel technology that's built in. But we had never run the rack and pinion steering. We had never run independent suspension. We had never had sequential shift. We had never had so much stuff. And all of a sudden they just said, okay, you're going to get it all at one time. We're just going to do it all at one time. So it's a difference in taking, and I'll jokingly say that that's NASCAR was hung in about 1976. And all of a sudden they were like, oh my gosh, it's 2021. We got to get a new car. And they traded in that 1976 model and they got a brand new model. And this model had seatbelts and this model had airbags and this model so it's so radically different than anything that has come along in the past. Is there's not a book. You can't even compare it to anything in the past. So that is the big deal. That's why it can go to Le Mans, as you say. And again, that's why we can go to the streets of Chicago. And again, that's why guys like supercar drivers and guys like Shane can come over here and jump in a car and be competitive right off the bat because there's not that learning curve. They're already there.
Yeah, he was seriously impressive last year. He drove a really great race in Sonoma the other week as
Oh,
well,
yes.
Van Gisberg. Is that the future then? You think for NASCAR in terms of like the circuits because it's pretty much all ovals and it always has been. But we do have a street track which I don't even think would have been entertained before, like you said. But this generation of car actually allows for that. So do you think we're going to see a lot more street tracks come on the place of the calendar in place of maybe some road courses, but more likely some ovals?
So I think NASCAR would like that. I think they would like that in a lot of ways. I think they would like that from a market standpoint. If you race and obviously we race in Bristol, Tennessee, which is a great race. They're not going to take any races from Bristol, but you race in Bristol, Tennessee, and the population there is 150, 200,000 people. Obviously, they'd a lot rather race in Kansas City where the population is 3 or 4 million because you can just draw more people. There's more people to draw from. So I do think it opens it up. I don't see this sport. If we go back in time and go back to the 60s and go back to the 70s, IndyCar racing was an oval series also. NASCAR was an oval series. IndyCar racing was an oval series. IndyCar went through that transition period through the 80s and into the 90s where it became more of a road race series. And a lot of those courses were street courses. Portland, if we go to Detroit, when they would run in the streets of Detroit there, they run in Long Beach. So many courses were road courses or street courses instead of the road courses. And it's kind of graduated to that place where it's predominantly a road course series. I'm not sure NASCAR will ever get that far. You talk about fans screaming when the sound changed. There'll be a bunch of rednecks screaming if they get too many road courses. I can tell you that because they just want to see that good short track oval racing kind of stuff. But I do believe it opens that opportunity. And I keep going back to SVG and to Shane. He's incredible on a road course, but he has learned and adapted to the ovals and the style of driving on an oval within a short 4 or 5 months in this series, running the series full time. So I just think there's an opportunity for a good balance and a good mix. I do believe there will be more road courses and there'll probably be street courses, but we're never going to lose the Daytonas and the Charlottes and the Californias. We're never and the Texas places like that. We're just not going to lose those places.
No, and nor should you. Those are real cathedrals of speed, of bastions of NASCAR at the end of the day. They should absolutely be on the calendar. They should be protected, to be honest. So I don't expect that to change either. Yeah, safe travels coming over to the UK for Goodwood.
Stay in touch.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you wanna hear more from us, you can head over to NASCARchronicle.com. You can find us on the usual social channels, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, on all of those, and of course our Microsoft account, start account too. And who do you want to see us interview next here on 5 Minutes with? Just let us know in the comments below for any suggestions. I can't promise it'll be as good as Kyle, but I will do my best to make that happen. See you for the next one, guys.